The $65 billion scam, the biggest fraud in history. Imagine trusting your money to one of the most respected men on Wall Street and finding out it was all a lie. On December 11, 2008, while the world was still trying to recover from the housing crisis, a piece of news shocked the global financial market. Bernard Madoff, former Nasdaq chairman and an unquestioned figure in the industry, had been arrested. The accusation? Being the mastermind behind a financial pyramid scheme that diverted $65 billion. This was the biggest financial scam in the history of the United States. For nearly 20 years, no one suspected, neither banks, nor millionaires, nor governments. Today you will understand how Bernard Madoff deceived the entire world. Who was Bernard Madoff? The son of Jewish immigrants from Eastern Europe, Madoff built his career from scratch on Wall Street. In 1960, he founded Bernard Madoff Investment Securities, a company that quickly gained prominence by providing liquidity to the American financial market. His prestige grew so much that in the early 1990s, he became the chairman of Nasdaq, one of the most important stock exchanges in the world. With decades of experience and an impeccable reputation, Madoff seemed untouchable, and it was precisely this trust that paved the way for disaster. The Wizard of Finance. Madoff began managing other people's money, promising something rare. Constant returns, even in times of crisis. He never revealed his methods, he just delivered results. His fund survived the recession of the 1990s, the 1998 crisis, and even the panic following the September 11th attacks. While others were losing money, Madoff's clients were always winning. His fame spread quickly. International banks, investment funds, celebrities, billionaires, everyone wanted to invest with him. Among his clients were Hollywood actors, Nobel Prize winners, and established families of the American elite. Madoff became synonymous with security. Life of luxury and power. With billions under his management, he lived a luxurious life. Mansions in Manhattan, the Hamptons and Palm Beach, yachts, private jets, and a constant presence at high society philanthropic events. In the eyes of the world, Bernard Madoff was an example of success and credibility, but behind the scenes, everything was fake. The fall. In 2008, the global financial crisis caused investors to panic. Thousands began requesting the withdrawal of their money from Madoff's fund. The amount requested exceeded $7 billion. That's when the castle collapsed. Madoff didn't have the money. In the account, there was only about $200 million. There were no real investments. There were no profits. It was a classic Ponzi scheme, where old investors were paid with the money of new ones. The confession and arrest. With no way out, Madoff confessed everything to his own children. The next day, they reported the scheme to the authorities. On December 11, 2008, Bernard Madoff was arrested in his luxury apartment. Investigations revealed that the fraud had lasted nearly 20 years. No trades were ever made on the market. Statements were manually falsified, and only a small group of employees had access to the department where the scheme was operated. The devastating impact. The scam affected around 37,000 victims in 136 countries. More than money, people lost families, friendships, and their own dignity. At least 2 victims took their own lives after losing everything. Reports indicated that Madoff managed $65 billion. In reality, the actual amount never exceeded $17 billion. The rest was pure accounting fiction. The sentence. In 2009, Bernard Madoff was sentenced to 150 years in prison, the maximum penalty allowed by the American justice system. In court, in front of hundreds of victims, he stated that he lived tormented by the suffering he caused and admitted to leaving a legacy of shame for his family. The final tragedy. In 2010, exactly 2 years after Madoff's arrest, his eldest son took his own life in his Manhattan apartment. The press called the episode the last victim of the scam. Bernard Madoff died in prison in April 2021 at the age of 82. And to this day, many victims are still awaiting restitution. Histórias como essa provam que no mundo financeiro, confiança cega pode custar tudo. Se você quer mais histórias reais de poder, dinheiro e crimes que chocaram o mundo, deixe seu like, se inscreva no canal e ative as notificações.